Ciao, welcome back to the channel. I'm Luca, your Android engineer, and in today's video I want to talk and show you about a few new releases of the Android Map Compose library. The last time I created a video about Google Maps, I was using the version 5.0.4 released in June 24. But there has been a few updates, which the first one being version 6.0.0 that has some breaking changes. And then there are two more releases, 6.1.0 and 6.1.1, which dates 3 weeks ago. So at the time of this recording, the last week of July. Let's go through every single one of them and see what changes. So 6.0.0 introduces breaking changes. The map compose library now leverage state factory marker to flag state object creation without remember or similar mechanism, and added map color scheme. The state factory marker mark a function as an error if it's used without a remember or a mechanism to remember its value to avoid recomposition at every time. Version 6.1.0 use Android view overload, which reuse map view to improve performance in lazy layout. This means that if you happen to have a Google Map composable function inside a lazy column or inside a lazy row, this will improve the performance in that scenario. I don't think that many of us are using Google Maps inside a lazy column, so this might not affect you directly, but it's nice to see that they are taking care of those performances and improving them over time. Version 6.1.1 has only a bug fix that fixed the atom version in the catalog. So let's jump into the code and let's look at this specific line here. Val marker state equal marker state providing a position. As you can see, there's nothing wrong here. We can then go ahead and use their marker state inside a marker and we won't receive any error. But this is actually an error because every time the Google Map composable function is recomposed, this marker state is initialized once again. So what we want to do is head over our libs version tom file and update to the latest 6.1.1 version. We can sync the project, and as soon as it's synced, we will see that the marker state is now marked as an error, and the error reads create state object during composition without using remember. State object created during composition need to be remember. Otherwise, they will be recomposed and lose their state. So this is the same as you would get if you create a random state that uses the mutable state of providing a value. As you can see, the error here is the same, creating a state object during composition without using remember. The solution to this is wrap everything in a remember function. And as you can see now, the error has disappeared because we're doing the things in the right way. Here down below, I have a list of positions and I want to show you something that might happen in your code base. Let's say that we want to create a marker for every position of this list. So many of you might have a list of position and then go through every position, gathering a position and creating a state. So let's create a marker state as we did before with a marker state and providing the position. And then use that marker state inside a marker. As you can see, as soon as we enter a for each loop, using marker state alone is not firing up an exception, although it should. So I highly recommend that you still go through all your code base and replace this code with a remember marker state. There are two easy ways to do so. The first one would be pressing Command B or Command click in an usage of the marker state invoke function, and then use that again so Command B or Command click, to see all the usages of that function inside of your code. As you can see here, I only have one usage. It is inside the main activity. Another way would be select marker state and the open brackets and use the Command Shift F to search in your enter project. So be sure to have in project here selected, so you will see all the usage that you have. You can then use Command Shift R on MacBook to replace all and replace the initialization with a remember. Now that we are aware of this, we can safely update all the usage of our remember state in order to not cause unnecessary recomposition. Now let's talk about color scheme. The Google Map composable function has a new map color scheme parameter. This parameter uses the compose map color scheme, which is an enum class, and we have a light, a dark, and a follow system possible values. So if we use compose map color scheme dark and run our application, I have here a Samsung device which, as you can see, is using a light mode. But although is using a light mode, if we're using a map color scheme dark, the map loaded will use a dark scheme. Vice versa, if we use a light map color scheme and we relaunch our app on the device, it will be light. As you can see here on the screen, it is now light. But if we change to dark theme, the map will remain light. The last one that we can use is follow system. And if we use this follow system instead, whenever the user changes the color scheme of his own device, the map will react accordingly. As you can see, we have a dark theme set on right now, and the map is dark. But if we switch back to a light mode, the map is redrawn using a light scheme. And once again, if we want to double test it, we can switch back the dark mode and see that the map reacts accordingly. And that's all what's new in Google Maps Compose library for now. The color scheme is really a nice touch in my opinion. I like that we are now able to change how the map looks based on the user phone system setting and not force a color that might be not aligned with its system. If you happen to have an app that use a dynamic color scheme, so it can use a dark color scheme or a light color scheme based on the user settings, it's not a good idea to have a map that doesn't react as the rest of your app. This way you can use the follow system and you will be able to follow the system setting of your users. The lint error, on the other hand, it's really helpful to prevent us developer to make mistake while we are coding our apps. I believe that it's extremely useful and it will lead to several performances enhancement in all the usage of the Google Map Compose library. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's short video regarding what's new in Google Map Compose library. If you did enjoy the video, please consider giving it a like. It helps immensely. And until the next time, peace.